My video for January the 7th, 2020 is number 3328. The title is A Time of Great Confusion. It's no doubt more and more obvious to many, yet I feel most are still asleep. The insane fires in both California and Australia are exactly that, insane. To think they are natural occurrences, one must have swallowed the blue pill. Again, most have. They remain blissfully ignorant of the greatest battle taking place on earth, while others are desperate to find the truth and hopefully freedom from the mind controllers who have a tendency to label things as conspiracy theories or other labels that imply only the stupid are sucked into the belief that life has meaning. The polarization of human society should be evident to all, but it's not. So many are lulled to sleep with various distractions. American football is one where misdirection is a key of offensive strategy. In real time, it's a challenge. But when the picture is slowed down, the picture becomes clearer. Perhaps that is why so many emphasize the importance of meditation. How many take time to simply reflect on things happening in our lives and this world we inhabit? I do every day. Does that make me happy? No. It merely makes me aware of things I might ordinarily miss. I take the red pill. It's interesting because I thought I recorded that video this morning. I already have the blurb for the video for the 8th, and I went to watch the one that I had recorded for the 7th, and I don't know how, but it's not with the rest of my videos, and I don't find it. So I guess I didn't record it, but I thought I did. I always record in the morning, and now it's going on 8:30 p.m. at night, and when I'm actually recording this. So it's been an interesting day. I mean, I've had some people say that I'm insane because I, in fact, it was a flat Earth person who called me insane, make a lot of really nasty comments on my Facebook page. And then I went, because he called me insane, I went to delete him and unfriend him, but he had already, I guess, unfriended and deleted me because the content is no longer available when I tried to just say goodbye. I don't go online and call people names. I may challenge viewpoints, but I try to do it in as polite a way as possible. I may not always be perfect at that, but I do my best. We do live in a time of great confusion, so I understand the dilemma posed by the political theater that's going on in the United States, and not just the United States, but all over the world. I have never, ever in my life seen the United States as divided as it is right now. I mean, as I've said in recent videos, and one's a little bit further back, in fact, anytime I say something good about Trump, I get Trump haters blasting me. And if I say something negative, I have Trump supporters saying, "What's wrong with you? Why aren't you supporting him? Don't you see he's draining the swamp?" And others say, "But he is the swamp." The whole thing to me is insane. And I understand the confusion. I really do. I mean, we have been lied to, folks, all of our lives. Our media, our religions, our education system, everything in the corporate governments of the world, and they're virtually all corporate governments, with some exceptions, but mostly they're all corporate governments for profit. They do not look at human beings as human beings with natural rights. Instead, we are just corpses, That's what corporation is. It's a corpse. It's a dead entity. It's not a living entity. To me, corporations have no business on this planet, period, even on the sea. And I know maritime law is supposed to be the law of the sea. It's not supposed to apply on the land. But maritime law is corporate law, and it's fiction. It's all fraud to me. And yes, I have been confused myself. I'm not insane. I try to be rational and try to look at things objectively. I try to see both sides of the arguments, but the offensive strategy is to distract. And there's a whole lot of distraction going on, in case you haven't noticed. The whole political thing is a circus. You know, you've got the Democrats and the Republicans each claiming some moral high ground, but they've both participated in the deception and the moral low ground. It's all fraud. It breaks my heart to see the world in such a mess. It's challenging to me to understand how a loving God could allow this to go on and on and on. We are more aware of things now than we've ever been before, but it's been going on all of our lives and way beyond in the past, way beyond the present, beyond going backwards, not going forwards. I don't know what the forward is going to look like. I've often thought it was going to be heaven on earth, but I don't know. God does not seem to answer my prayers. That's a huge challenge for me, trying to maintain a level of faith when I knock, knock, knock on heaven's door and nobody answers it. And people say, but Ron, God is in you. Why are you looking out there? Well, I look both. That's why I meditate. I look and I watch the questions come up. I hear the voices in my head, not literally voices, but the thoughts. I'm giving the thoughts a voice. And that's what I mean by voices in my head. And I look at these things and I examine them and I ask and I wonder and I ponder, how are we going to get out of this mess as humanity? How can there ever be heaven on earth when the insanity is so entrenched and the liars are empowered? You know, yes, it's the three city states, but I'm going to add a fourth to that. And that is the nation of Israel was not supposed to be come back into existence until Shiloh comes. As far as I can tell, Shiloh is the Messiah, and the Messiah has not returned. There is still not peace on earth. There is great tribulation, but there's been great tribulation throughout human history. That's not a new thing. So to say, well, we've got to wait for the great tribulation, well, which part of the great tribulation? How great does it have to get? Does it have to get to the point where they literally kill 6.5 billion people to reduce the world's population to a manageable 500 million people or 500 million? I don't know the answer. So to understand is difficult because of the conflicting stories that we're told. Because every one of us has things that we experience that shape our perception and therefore our reality. It's very, very confusing. And I hope that the insanity would stop. I hope that God would take responsibility for creation and empower goodness and disempower the evil. Thank you, folks, for listening, and namaste.